It went to, but we're looking for session 1 poll.
Concurring, session 2 went through on the second attempt, session 1 still not showing.
For me, I'm unable to submit session 2.
Make sure you have answered all the questions. You have to scroll down to the bottom.
I'm not seeing session 1.
Yes, sorry about that. We'll have to repost session 1's polling options, which are very similar, which are the same as these. So as soon as everyone is completed with session 2, we'll come back to session 1 so that persons can place their input where that is concerned. So sorry about that. So just please complete session 2 for now, and then we'll get back to session 1 shortly. All right, so if we're all finished with session 2, we'll end this segment right here. For those who missed session 1, it is now active. You can go ahead and add your answers for session 1.
Ending.
So session 1 poll is now active.
Yes,
Question 3 is a little unclear.
Question 3 has,
Yeah.
Oh, my apologies. For question 3, the first option should actually be yes. The second one should be no. So, sorry about that.
I think we need to move on now. We'll complete this at the end of the session. Let's do it.
Yes, sir. All right, so the polls have ended. Thank you very much. For the next session, there will be a breakout room for the OEC participants, the high school participants. Sorry. You can select, you'll be able to select the breakout room on your screens. If you're on a mobile device, check the top left-hand corner of your screen. You should be seeing it shortly. If you're on a computer, on the bottom right-hand corner of your screen, you should be seeing 4 boxes labeled breakout rooms.
Okay. Should we hold a second, please? I think we have an ad now by Interglobal, and then we'll go into a breakout room. You can give the instructions, all right?
Okay, no problem, sir.
So Interglobal, you have to.
Greetings, everyone. Thank you, Mr. Boyens. All protocols observed. My name is Kevin Small, CEO. To my left, if you can see him, would have been Adrian Price, in charge of our sales and marketing. Interglobal is honored and pleased to be a part of this conference. Reason being, we've existed for over 10 years only and solely to serve this nation, to be a part of the development of every child, of every school and its growth where technology is concerned. And we have embarked since to ensure that Wi-Fi's are in schools. Once our service is requested, we ensure that we tailor all our prices, tailor all our services, customized for each school to ensure that we fit within their budget, we fit within their needs and their wants. And as such, we've impacted many schools. We have been doing well in Wi-Fi, and we're not talking about just Wi-Fi in schools. We're talking about Wi-Fi in the homes. So if you want a situation whereby, for now where students are at home or your child or children, we can send signal as far as in the bathroom. Wherever you are, we can send signal to that to ensure. And we're not talking about no whole heap of money who would not have existed. We exist to serve this nation, and because of that, our prices are very, very, very reasonable. So we have Wi-Fi at homes, Wi-Fi in the business place. Wi-Fi is on campus. We have fire alarm system. Kids being at home right now could fall asleep while the stove is on. Let us put in a smoke detector for you. And that smoke detector will alert you if that child needs, or if you're at home and the child fall asleep, smoke detector can provide assistance. So we install fire alarm systems in businesses and in homes. We're talking about camera systems. At home, you need to see what your child is doing. You want to be able to can manage, and not just schools. So it's not just for schools, but it's also for parents. You must see what your child is doing physically and be able to police them, can talk to them. We have nanny cameras. We have commercial cameras. We have cameras that is tailored, that is wired for you. We have cameras that is wireless so that you can just attach it to your phone. Again, reasonable. We also have laptops, tablets, printers, again, tailor-made just to facilitate the needs of the school and the needs of every parent in Jamaica. We also have parental control. Right now, everything has turned into digital. You need parental control so that the software can manage what the child is doing. The child can't believe that they're at home because it makes the situation even so challenging for a teacher who is teaching and not knowing what is happening. Our software, our parental control software is able to provide policing against pornography, against adware, against everything that a child that can pop up during any session while the child is using their computer or using any tablet or any smart device. You have to stick with Interglobal. You have to call Interglobal at 906-2300, or you can visit us on our website, www.interglobaltechnologysolution.com. We are on Facebook. We are on IG, Instagram. We are on Google. We are ranked one of Google. In Jamaica, we are ranked very high on Google. So all you need to do is to put in Interglobal. All you need to do is to put in a laptop, put in fire alarm system, put in Wi-Fi, and you'll be able to see Interglobal pop up on your screen. For the interest of time, we have a PowerPoint slide that Adrian was prepared in that we're going to be doing But because of the interest of time, and I know that Sir Boyne is watching the time, he's the timekeeper of this conference. With total respect for him, I will pause my presentation, and then we will jump back to look at the PowerPoint slide. So you can see prices, you can see the devices, you can see what we are certified in, you can see more details based on what I have just introduced. I think we go on, Sir Boyne, at 4:40. I think we have another slot.
Yes,
that would have given us enough time for you to see the slides and to see the products that we're offering. You cannot go to our competitors' my conference, my people. You cannot go to no competitor. We will tailor everything you need. If you have $1, call us. If you don't, because this is COVID time and we have to, if you have $1, call us 906-2300 and we will provide solution. That's where we are interglobal technology solution. We are not using that word loosely. We will provide solution for your needs, for your technology needs. Sir Boyne, I hand over back. Thank you for the opportunity, everybody.
Thank you. Put your contact information in the chat room, please.
I will certainly, sir. Thank you.
Anna? Thank you.
Yeah, I'll deputize for Anna. I think she had to run off a little bit. At this time, we'll have another talent piece before we are separated in the breakout room. This talent piece is entitled JISA. It's entitled Coronavirus. It was written and performed by J. Lee, a student at Liberty Prep.
Coronavirus. Why do you want to meet us? We are always in a rush because of you, coronavirus. You have sunken our academics. All we do are Zoom meetings. Can't even give my classmates a greeting. Children can't take the bus. What a fuss because of you. Coronavirus, you are a bother. We can't even hug one another. We are even hiding from each other. No handshakes, no touching of our face. You are a disgrace. Get out of the place. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, look out for the symptoms, or you will all be victims. Will this virus ever go? We do not know. So keep a track of your hygiene. I wear my mask to protect you. Please, wear your mask to protect me. Wash your hands. Keep them clean. Help stop the spread of COVID-19. I just presented Coronavirus by J. Lee Clark. Thank you.
All right, instructions. Good afternoon again. Instructions regarding the breakout room setup. Shortly, we'll open the breakout rooms. You will see there are two rooms. One entitled OEC updates, and the other one is entitled Managing the PEP process. You can select the respective group room that you are associated with. So if you're on a mobile device, you should be seeing 4 boxes to the top left-hand corner of your screen entitled Breakout Rooms. Click on that, select the room that you're associated with, press Join. If you're on a computer, to the bottom right-hand corner of your screen, you should be seeing the 4 boxes. If you're not seeing it, click the More option. You should be seeing it there, Breakout Rooms. Click that, select the room that you're associated with. Any questions, feel free to ask.
I'm not seeing the more options anymore.
Okay, so thank you very much for your patience. Good afternoon, all protocols observed. Welcome to all our parents and all of our teachers who have joined this session, where we will be discussing a very hot topic, which is CXC, which seems to be a moving target this year, and getting an update from OEC, the Overseas Examinations Commission, which coordinates the activities for CXC on the ground. JISA has a representative that sits with OEC to both air our concerns. So parents, you'll be very interested in making sure that you get those concerns up through the JISA airways as well, because together much more can be accomplished. His name is Wayne Robinson, and so I'll be reading his profile, and then we will proceed into the session. So, Mr. Wayne Robinson is the founder of Quality Academics and was the principal from its inception in 1998 to 2016. He was educated at Old Harbor Primary School, Jamaica College, the University of the West Indies, where he pursued a first degree in zoology and chemistry, and in Western Carolina University. Oh, the beauty of, but a lovely truck is passing. Who thinks he needs to announce his passing? Okay, so here we go again. And Western Carolina University, where he completed graduate studies in educational leadership and supervision. At Old Harbor Primary, he was the president of its first Students' Council. At Jamaica College, he was deputy head boy, company sergeant major of cadets, and represented the school at cricket, football, and table tennis. He was successful at 9 O-level and 2 advanced level subjects. At the University of the West Indies, Mr. Robinson sat on the Guild Executive as Deputy Hall Chairman of Taylor Hall while representing the Mona campus and Taylor Hall at cricket, football, and table tennis. He was a leader of the student demonstrations against the government-imposed cess on the UWI students. Mr. Robinson has been an educator since 1983. He was the founder and principal of the undergrad school at Taylor Hall, UWI, for 15 years, then founded Quality Academics in 1998. Over the past 21 years, Quality Academics has developed an enviable record as a leading private school in Jamaica. He is a past president and executive member of the Jamaica Independent Schools Association, JISA, which represents over 1,000 private, preparatory, high, vocational, and special schools in Jamaica. For over 18 years, he was instrumental in the development of JISA and in its secretariat through constitutional reform, representation on various national and Ministry of Education committees, and was a visible leader and voice of private education in Jamaica. Mr. Robinson served as the chairman of JISA Sports and has guided the organization of private school sports for over a decade. Prep school champs, football and netball have thrived under his leadership. He has represented private schools at the Kingston and St. Andrew Football Association, KSAFA, and the Jamaica Athletics Administrative Association, J3. He has also chaired the JISA Disciplinary Committee and is also a member of the Disciplinary Committee of the Jamaica Netball Association. He served, and we're winding down now, on the board of Jamaica College for over 14 years, where he has been the chairman of the Academic Admissions and Human Resource Committees. He also mentors each year a fifth form class of 40 boys. He was appointed the acting principal of GC in 2016, July. He served as a member of the OEC for over 14 years and was the chairman of the Finance and Human Resources Committee, guiding the financial success and development of that body. The OEC is responsible for the administration of most national examinations, including the CXC. Mr. Robinson has recently returned to represent JISA as the OEC as chairman of finance. Mr. Robinson was a member of the National Task Force on Training, preparing Jamaica's strategic plan for 2030. He's a member of the ministry's Policy Committee on Private Schools, a member of the Safe School Policy Committee, and a member of the committee responsible for creating the guidelines and standards for school-based assessments in CXC examinations. He was also a member of the Labor Market Reform Subcommittee on Education and Training. He currently serves on the board of the Vocational Training Development Institute. He is also the recipient of a number of awards, including the Prime Minister's Medal of Appreciation. So 1 second. For service to education. Thank you so much for bearing with it. He is a member of the Pelicans Football Club and is the treasurer of the David Wagahunt Scholarship Fund. He enjoys watching all sports, but especially football, cricket, athletics, and basketball. He also enjoys listening to music and reading. Mr. Robinson worships at the Fellowship Swallowfield Chapel. He is married to Donna and is the father of a son and a daughter. So he comes with a wealth of experience in the field of education. We will be watching a recorded presentation that was prepared because he was not going to be available for this time. But what we would do after his presentation, we will take the questions so that they can be dealt with in a latter forum, any questions that may arise. But we hope that the session that we are about to watch together would help to inform all of us of some of those critical questions we came into this session with. So without any further delay, I now give you Mr. Wayne Robinson. Thank you very much.
I am the proprietor. Greetings, JISA parents. My name is Wayne Robinson. I am the proprietor of Quality Academics and the principal of Jamaica College. But most importantly, I am the JISA representative at the Overseas Examinations Commission. And I'm going to be spending a little time with you today sharing some information about the CXC exams, also about exam preparation. Hopefully at the end of it, you'd have received some clarity, and if there are questions, then you can send those questions to me. So first, let me tell you, this has been a very difficult year for students, teachers, all educators. Exams have been rescheduled now, as you would already know, to begin on the 14th of June and extend until July 17th. These exams are going to be full exams, meaning they will have the SBA component, they will have a multiple choice paper, and they will have a paper 2. And in other subjects where they have orals and other practicals, those exams will also be a part, those papers will also be a part of the assessment. So all exams will be complete. A couple of housekeeping matters right away. The SBA deadline has been extended. So for all examinations, the SBA deadline has been extended. You'd have already known that the SBAs have been reduced. The deadline for CAPE is now June the 30th. There is no late deadline after that. Any SBA that comes in or IA that comes in after June the 30th will not be accepted. So that is your final deadline. For CSEC, the deadline is the 18th of June. That's June 18. There are a couple of subjects that will receive an extended deadline to the 30th, and those subjects are like the subjects that have practical components like industrial tech and home economics. Those subjects will receive an extended date, but all other subjects must be submitted to CXE, that is to the overseas office, by the 18th. That means the school will have a deadline before that, because the school has to prepare the SBA for upload. It is very important to note that a big change this year, and that is, it is similar to last year, but it's a big change for any year before, and that is every single SBA will be moderated by CXE. And let me explain what that means. It means there'll be no sampling. Normally, you will have a sample of, say, 5 or 6 SBAs. This computer chooses the best one, the worst ones, and some in the middle. This year, every single SBA will be marked by CXE, so they have to be electronically uploaded. Or in the case of labs, a moderator will come in and mark those lab books. That is extremely important because that upload is going to be done. It was done last year, and if you remember, a couple of schools had problems last year because the ESBA, the cover sheets, weren't uploaded properly. All of them must be uploaded properly before, and that is why the school's deadline is usually before the CXE deadline, so that they have time to properly upload all SBAs. That is a crucial piece of information because it is very important that we note that every single SBA will be marked by CXE, not only just the science SBAs and the labs, but every single SBA must be uploaded electronically and marked by CXE. All right, so that's important. Because that is so, I want to add something now as a school leader, and that is, it's therefore important that you get the best mark you can get in the SBA. Because the SBA is going to be marked again by CXE. And one of the complaints they had last year is that they thought the schools were marking leniently. And that is why they've taken up this activity of marking the SBA themselves. You have to ensure that your students, your sons and daughters, get the best grade they can get from the SBA. We are saying we don't want under 90%, but at least a benchmark of a low benchmark of 80%. Try to go in with the best mark you can get. There's still a little time. I don't know what each individual school status is, but you must try and go in with the best mark you can from the SBA. All right, a little bit of new information. Deferrals, you'd have heard about the CXE offer of deferrals, meaning to do the subject in a sitting next year, whether January or June. The deadline for deferrals has been extended to the 24th of May. That's Labor Day next week, Monday. CXE really is not any respect of holidays. So if you for whatever reason want to defer a subject for a subject or the sitting, then you need to speak to your principal immediately. The deadline, that email should come out to the schools today. The deadline has been extended to May 24, which is next week, Monday. And so that covers the issues for exams and any new information that you may need. Remember, the exams begin in the middle of June, so you have a little less than a month now to prepare. I want to spend a little time going through the preparation for these exams. The exams, as I said earlier, will be a total exam like the original one 2 years ago, where you have a multiple choice paper for the most part. You have a structured paper, which is like an essay type paper. That's a paper 2. And of course, the SPAs and whatever other school-based assessment, whether that be an oral or in the case of art, a portfolio. All of those will be marked this year. It will be a full exam. I want to give you some guidance as to how to prepare for these exams. CXC has a very comprehensive website, cxc.org. And that website is key to provide you support in the preparation for exams. The website has on a number of components that are critical. The first one is the syllabus. You must go on the website and look at the syllabus, ensure that you understand what it entails, all the areas that must be covered, because remember, the exam, especially the multiple choice, will cover the whole syllabus. And so you must know whether you've covered half of it, whether there are critical areas you need to cover. The syllabus gives you a total outline of what is to be prepared for the exams. The syllabus also has on areas where it tells you what are referred references, meaning required reading for the exams and where you can find it, websites and also books. That will give you good information. You need to take a look at the syllabus. Recently, just last week, CXC sent out a list of topics for each subject area that will be emphasized. In some subject areas, I looked at the whole of it. A lot of it hasn't changed from the syllabus. So if you've been preparing, you shouldn't have a problem, but take a look at those list of subjects too. It's on the website, and you can see what they have said will be emphasized in this year's exams. So it's important that you take a look at the syllabus on the website and also the topics that they sent for each subject. The format of the exam is also on the website. In other words, you will look and see how the papers are set out, and that will give the students an idea of how the paper will be formatted. An important part of the website is what they call specimen papers. Specimen papers are very important. Every time there is a change in syllabus, meaning if last year the syllabus had on blue shirt and this year that the syllabus has been changed to white shirt, then you are sure that questions on white shirt will come, because they wouldn't have changed the syllabus unless they saw a need. And so those white shirt questions are critical because they must be on the exam paper and they are on the specimen papers. So when you do the specimen papers, you are actually getting questions that will be in the exam. Sometimes those questions are sent verbatim, meaning word for word. There is no change at all. So if you get questions before the exam on the specimen papers and you don't attempt them and go into the exam seeing them for the first time, then you're not very wise. The specimen papers are crucial because those questions are returning either in the very same way, word for word, or in the very same format or concept. They may just change numbers. So it's very important that you not just do the specimen papers, you work through them, look at the questions carefully, because those are the questions that are going to come back in the exam. And those specimen papers are paper 2s, meaning those are the essay questions. So it's very, very important that you look at the specimen papers. The website also has on past papers. Of course, I need not tell you the importance of past papers. It is your practice site. A lot of CXC questions are repeats. And so if you are getting the opportunity to do the questions before you go into the exam and you don't do them, then you're not very wise. Those past papers are important. There's a very important aspect of the website also called examiners reports. Now, these examiners reports are exactly what they say they are. They are the reports from the examiners who have marked the exam papers over the last 10, 15, 20 years. They tell you the paper that they marked. They tell you the question that they marked. They say to you, question 1 in June 2020 or in June 2019. They tell you how the students approach the question. They tell you how the students ought to have approached the questions. They tell you what are common mistakes, and they tell you what a right answer should look like. And so they actually give you the right answer to the question, the same past paper that you have on working. They give you common misconceptions, so you know what you're not to write, and therefore you know what they're looking for. These specimen papers are crucial to good performance and to understanding the expectation of the examiners. So these examiners' reports and these specimen papers are critical. Make sure that you go through as many examiners' reports as you can. Have your past paper beside you, have the examiner's report on the computer beside you, and go through them. Encourage your student, your son, your daughter, your ward to go through all specimen papers and as many examiners' reports as you can, especially those concepts that are coming on the topics that they say will come. So if you see an examiner's report on a question that is one of the topics that is supposed to come, then you must do those examiner's reports, and you must understand what the expectations are of how you answer the questions. So those are critical from the website. The website also has on a lot of support for exams. In other words, webinars, conferences that you do online, exam tips. All of those things are a part of the CXC website and are critical to doing well on the exam. It's important that you avail yourself to going through the website. It is amazing that students and parents too approach a full exam of CXC without ever going on the website. That makes no sense at all, because there is a significant amount of support that is offered by the CXC website and what is now called the CXC Hub, which gives you everything I just said a while ago and more. So I am again encouraging all parents to you yourself go on the website so you understand what is there, and you then encourage your son, your daughter, your ward to go on the website and ensure that they make use of all the tools there. So a quick recap. Remember, the SBA's deadline has been extended to the 18th of June for CSEC and the 30th of June for CAPE. Remember, there are some subjects, the practical subjects in CSEC, that will get an extension. Industrial Tech Home Ec will get an extension to the 30th. But I would say to you, operate with the 18th to make sure that all your SBAs are in and on time. Also remember that all SPAs must be uploaded, because every single one will be marked this year by CXC or CXC's agent. Now, in the past, you had sampling, there'll be no sampling this year. In the past, they will come in and mark the lab books and moderate the lab books. They will still do that. And they will do that for every SBA, but this time we will upload them electronically through the ORS, through the online registration system. And that upload process is very critical and must be done properly. And you must get a response that they have received it, so that you don't have only part of the components of the exam going up and you get a bad grade. I also mentioned that the date for deferrals has been extended until May the 24th, which is next week, Monday. So if you have a case, speak to the principal of your school and look at that, whether you can defer the exam to a later date. It will be at no additional cost to you, to the candidate or parent. I also mentioned how important it is to go through all the support that is given on the CXC website so that you can properly prepare for the exams. And I mentioned the syllabus, I mentioned the examiner's reports, I mentioned specimen papers, I mentioned all the other exam support that is there, including past papers, and that all of those will give you support once you go on to cxc.org, and you will see other supporting areas from CXC there. I thank you. I hope I've been helpful, and I hope that we have while in a difficult year, we still have an exam session. It is very difficult for students, has been very difficult. Unfortunately, we have no choice, and these exams are on and are on in their fullness. So we've got to prepare. Thanks very much for having me. JISA is a part of my heart, and as you know, I'm a part of the JISA organization. Thanks very much. Please post questions, and I will do the best I can later on to send in the answers. Thanks, everyone. Have a blessed rest of conference.
Thank you very much to Mr. Wayne Robinson for sharing those very clear and concise updates, I would call it, on news concerning the soon-to-be set CXC rounds of exams for this year. I am sure as parents and as teachers, there are questions that are on your heart, on your mind. So what we would ask is that you put the questions in the chat, and at a subsequent date, those questions would be treated with. So that basically brings us to the end of this session, unless somebody has a burning comment or question that they need to have aired. And I believe you all will be doing we would be doing a poll just to assess how beneficial this session was to participants. Okay, so I'll take one or two comments or questions if you have it now in the group. Other than that, just place them inside of the chat, and you will get an opportunity to give your feedback in the poll in short order. Well, I have a friend who says either the session was as clear as crystal or as clear as mud. Which was it? Okay. All right, so thank you all very much for your time. Hold 1 second as I